What happens when a country bombs the cloud? The strike that rewrote warfare begins here. In the year 2026, the world witnessed a paradigm shift in the nature of conflict. Something unprecedented happened. A nation-state didn't just launch an attack on land, at sea, or in the air. It aimed its weapons at a target that is everywhere and nowhere at once. Iran escalates, striking the heart of global cloud infrastructure. It struck the cloud, hitting AWS in Bahrain. This wasn't a conventional cyber attack, a breach of firewalls, or a simple denial of service. This was a physical assault on the very heart of our digital world. For most of us, the cloud is an abstract concept, a convenient metaphor for where our data lives. But the cloud has a physical home. It resides within colossal, hyper-secure data centers, sprawling complexes of servers and cooling systems that form the backbone of the 21st century economy. These facilities are the engines of modern life, powering everything from our financial transactions and streaming services to our healthcare systems and government operations. And in this global network, few names loom as large as Amazon Web Services, or AWS. As the dominant force in cloud computing, its infrastructure is woven into the fabric of countless businesses and nations. The attack did not occur in a vacuum. For months, geopolitical tensions between Iran and a coalition of Western allies had been simmering, threatening to boil over. Sanctions, proxy conflicts, and heated rhetoric had become the norm. But as traditional avenues of conflict proved costly and politically fraught, a new kind of battlefield began to emerge. One fought not with soldiers, but with servers. The target was digital infrastructure. In March of 2026, the theoretical became terrifyingly real. Iran launched a series of coordinated drone strikes targeting critical data centers located in the United Arab Emirates and Bahrain. These weren't just any facilities, they were key regional hubs, facilities intrinsically linked to the global network of Amazon Web Services. The choice of target was deliberate, a clear message that the physical assets of a technology giant were now considered legitimate military objectives. Timeline of the Bahrain AWS attack. Early March 2026, pre-dawn hours, the first wave strikes a Bahrain Edge data facility. 15 minutes later, secondary hits degrade backup power. At roughly 40 minutes, cooling failures trigger automatic server shutdowns. Around 2 hours in, outages ripple across the region. By 12 hours, partial recovery begins while damage assessments continue. The impact was immediate and catastrophic. Within seconds of the strikes, primary and backup power systems failed. The crucial cooling systems that prevent servers from overheating shut down. As temperatures inside the racks soared past critical thresholds, entire clusters of servers automatically went offline to prevent permanent damage. A cascade of failures began. As multiple AWS availability zones were disrupted, the digital scaffolding supporting the region's economy began to crumble. Businesses across the Middle East experienced crippling outages. Banking services went dark, halting transactions. Flight control systems failed, grounding air traffic. Enterprise systems that managed logistics, payroll, and communications for thousands of companies simply vanished. Why these companies? According to official statements released by the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, these specific corporations provide the foundational technology, artificial intelligence, cloud computing, and communications infrastructure that Tehran claims have been instrumental in supporting U.S. and Israeli military and intelligence operations. The IRGC alleged that advanced AI from these firms was used for target recognition, that their cloud platforms hosted sensitive logistical data, and that their satellite networks provided critical battlefield communications. In this new doctrine, providing technological support was seen as equivalent to providing direct military aid. The disruption spread with digital speed. Companies that had architected their systems entirely on a single AWS region, confident in its resilience, suddenly found their entire operations offline with no immediate recourse. The economic fallout was measured in the millions of dollars per minute, a stark demonstration of the fragility hidden within our hyper-connected world. But this was only the beginning. The attack was a prelude to a much broader threat. Cisco, HP, Hewlett-Packard, Intel, Oracle, Microsoft, Apple, Google, Meta, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, IBM, Dell, Palantir, NVIDIA. JP Morgan Chase, Tesla, General Electric, Boeing, Spire Solutions, G42. Tech giants are now on notice. Your servers are not safe. Following the initial strikes, the IRGC issued a direct and chilling warning to the world. It declared that a wider campaign of attacks could commence as early as April 1st. The statement went further, urging all civilian employees, contractors, and local staff working at or near the targeted facilities in the region to evacuate for their own safety. This transformed a corporate security issue into a humanitarian concern, blurring the lines between corporate and civilian domains. The announcement sent shockwaves through corporate boardrooms and government halls. Companies were forced to confront a terrifying new risk calculus. Were their data centers, once considered secure fortresses, now frontline military targets? Emergency continuity plans were activated, and non-essential personnel in the designated threat zones were advised to work remotely or relocate, causing significant operational disruption even before any further attacks occurred. The threat was not confined to a single country. It cast a shadow over the entire Gulf region, a major global hub for finance and technology. While the warning primarily named multinational corporations, the potential for collateral damage was immense. The regional impact would be serious. Offices, data centers, financial exchanges, and critical communications infrastructure throughout the Middle East could be affected, either as direct targets or as secondary casualties of a larger digital conflict. Global markets and the technology sector reacted with immediate alarm. Stock prices for the named companies and the tech sector as a whole saw a sharp downturn. Insurance underwriters scrambled to reassess policies, realizing that acts of war against corporate infrastructure were no longer a theoretical exclusion. Security analysts and political commentators warned that these threats marked the dawn of a new and dangerous type of geopolitical warfare, one that targets not nations directly, but the multinational corporations that underpin the global economy. In the noisy hours after the attack, facts were hard to find. Claims about hits on Oracle and other firms stayed unconfirmed. To steady nerves and markets, UAE officials and the companies denied major damage. But uncertainty did the work. The warning, repeated on news and social feeds, sparked fear, slowed business, and moved prices, without another shot fired. The events of 2026 served as a brutal wake-up call. This warning, and the attack that preceded it, demonstrated how modern warfare can and will target technology itself. The invisible infrastructure that runs our world is now a visible and vulnerable front line. In the digital age, where data is power and connectivity is currency, even private corporations can find themselves on the battlefield, whether they choose to be there or not. The very nature of sovereignty, security, and conflict has been redefined.